elaborate on that.
Sure. So when busing started in desegregation,
Sure.
that's when a lot of the busing started. But
Sure.
So right now we have 4 high schools within the city limits, but really 2 that are in the city, Howard and Moyer.
Sure.
Then there's Delaware Military Academy and Charter School of Wilmington. I believe they're still considered within the city limits. But so we are under the same rules for transportation as all public schools. So if you are, I think it's K5, if you're within a mile, you can walk. If you're farther than a mile, you can get the bus. And we as schools are required to provide that transportation.
Okay.
And then I think when you get to middle school, it's 2 miles, you can walk, or high school, and then outside of that. But it's all about choice, right? So if a parent chooses to send their child to a school that requires busing, that's their choice, right? If they make that choice. But it's the ones that don't make that choice that have to, right? That their feeder pattern says that they have to go to a school that is 45 minutes to an hour away on a bus. And I agree, it's crazy. Our kids, they're tired.
Absolutely.
And it's too much time. And then put in there if they have an after-school activity or sports. Goodness knows what time are they getting home at night? And then they've got to do homework and eat dinner and then have family time. And so, but we're under the same regulations that traditional schools are under. But because we're going to have 2 more high schools within the city and 2 more elementary schools within the city, more opportunities to go to school
Within the city.
Absolutely.
Great.
Right?
Great.
So.
Fantastic.
Kendall, I guess the question that Nnamdi asked earlier in terms of slots for the Wilmington students, and I know that the state board has approved that the schools that come into the city of Wilmington, well, they have charter schools that have been proven for 2014. I want to go on record as saying that I would really like to see a lot of the students in the city of Wilmington getting that opportunity to go and study to be a veterinarian at a school like the Met School. I think that one of the things that's going to happen here if we don't watch it, many of the youngsters in the city of Wilmington will not get that opportunity. You say 5-mile radius. Well, I live in Newark, and I know for a fact that the charter school of in Newark, it's like they got the lottery system, and a lot of times schools like that are built for a purpose. And I don't want to get into that, but I would like to see in Wilmington that if we're going to have a school that's dealing with the arts, no offense to Moyer, maybe they need to look at that curriculum and start doing some of those kinds of things. But we want to make sure that our children in the city of Wilmington get a golden opportunity, as you mentioned earlier, to get an excellent education.
Absolutely.
And that, to me, is something that's been concerning me for a long time. And I know that when I was so excited when I heard about the MET program and what they're going to be doing. A lot of our youngsters in the city of Wilmington are really good in the arts.
Right.
They're good at a lot of things, and they don't get that opportunity. And as Doc said, a lot of them are bussed out of the city of Wilmington to the various high schools, which I won't mention. But if an opportunity came for them to go to a school in Wilmington, I would hope that they would get that opportunity to go to one of those high schools and let them use their talent rather than spending an hour and a half on a bus. And that is something that I'm going to fight for, not against you guys, but it's just that I think that when I look at guys like Mike Raleigh, who was an outstanding and still is an outstanding artist, I gave him that opportunity to go to an art school when it wasn't popular to go to the Wilmington Art School on Saturday morning. And the principal, and I was the principal at that time, and others raised money, and this young man went on to college and did very well. But it really wasn't popular to go there, And we fought to get him in that school, and he is one of the top artists right now in the state of Delaware. But we have many that might miss that opportunity. So, and I know we can't talk about that tonight, but hopefully, when Nnamdi mentioned about the slots, that maybe some of our parents don't want their kids bused.
Then they need to come to the Charter School Expo on November 23rd to find out what schools are available for their kids. That's the thing. So a lot of our parents just don't know the choices, not because they don't want to, they just haven't been exposed to it, which is why we decided that we needed to have this. Our parents need to know what there is for our kids. And so with 2 new high schools coming into the city, we're going to have a lot more opportunities for our kids in the city to go to these schools. And this comes back to what you were talking about the community schools, right? So the schools that have a 5-mile radius, that is specifically meant for creating a community school so that parents and teachers and kids have the opportunity to be closer to the school and have the it's easier for the parents to get in and be involved. So again, I know that Delaware Met has the 5-mile radius preference. I'm sorry, I don't know if the others do, but I know that they're all committed to working for and doing outreach to the families that are specifically in the city of Wilmington.
Well, I think it's great. I think the one thing to me about, as you mentioned, having the option and choices being available, right now, so many of our children are in need of a valid option, another option that's going to give them the educational supports that they need. Right. And in my heart, I believe that as long as we can establish a true working relationships with the charter schools, then it can be beneficial. And it's just a matter of us as a city, and us as parents, as community, nonprofit, faith-based organizations, fraternities, sororities, all working together to support the children. Yes. And we can't just look and say that it's the schools, that it's the school district, that it's this charter school is failing. Right. All of us are failing if something isn't working right. And right now, something is not working right. And instead of pointing fingers, let's sit down at the table, let's discuss things. I think that the most valuable thing that we have right now is the fact that charter schools are in Wilmington because we have a valid option, and so if something's not working here, we can bring them there. We can sit down with the districts. We know I was 8 years old when this 4-district system jumped into place, and ever since then, all these years, I've seen education just become saturated and so deteriorated, and where it's almost worthless to our children. Yes. So we need to reconvene and sit at the table and discuss true options, and I believe that having the charter schools is a great option. I'm excited about having these schools come to our city because it gives us as the opportunity as a community to show our support. I remember hearing stories when I was younger about Howard High School and how the community would come together and support them to buy band equipment and help them with the band uniforms. I sense that same need for all of our schools, for every school within Wilmington to have that support. And that's what our children need. Our children deserve that.
That's
right.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
I would like to say I commend Councilman and the efforts of the City Council in addressing the issue of education reform for the city. I think it's imperative that you address this because they're the future of the city.
Yes.
And you look at all the infrastructures that are in place that could possibly deter their ability to become productive citizens, and all of a sudden, and we ask the question, why? How did this happen? Well, we know why it's happening.
No question.
So I commend the City Council and their support of this initiative.
I think so. I think that's very important from the mayor on down. I mean, Mayor Williams has really stepped up, and a lot of people aren't hearing about it right now. Sure. But I commend the mayor for a lot of things that are happening, but behind closed doors about education, because we realize how important it is. I mean, every shooting you hear about, every murder, every crime, every robbery, the majority of these individuals who are involved have dropped out of school. They didn't receive the educational supports they needed when it was the most critical moment for them. So we need to change that, because once our children have and are receiving education, they're not dropping out of school. They're going to hold on to their goals to their dreams, their ambitions, and that same, and we have to begin to bring everyone in. So I applaud the mayor, city council president Gregory for the support. I mean, everywhere from early education for our babies on through middle school education, for our high schools, working with the charter schools, traditional public schools, bringing everyone on board, and really let's look at this issue of education. It's multifaceted. There are an array of players and so many different levels in order to address it. But it starts with communication, and when we begin to have honest, open dialogue that can support the true growth and development of our children, our city will be better. It'll be a better place for our children, better place for our elders, for the future of our city. Right now, we're wondering about what's going to happen. We can't police our way out of this problem. No. We cannot point our fingers at the school districts out of this problem. It's going to take all of us to come together and truly create this village that our city deserves to be for our children.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That's
Can't do it without the village.
Can't say it any better. Couldn't say it any better. I too commend the mayor and his staff and city council, President Theo Gregory, working to try to do all we can do to make it better. And I'm telling you right now, I know everybody, they constantly complain about, well, I read this happened, this shooting took place, but make no mistake about it, that's not something that we want to happen. We're trying to make it better. Education is the key.
Yes, sir.
If you don't have a good education, you're not going anywhere. And that's why we're pushing education. And I know that the city council and I know that the mayor is actually pushing education. And we're going to continue to do that. And we're going to wrap this session up. And I want to thank my guests. Did a great job. And viewing audience, please get involved. Join the PTA. Go to the schools. Visit your grandkids in school. Visit your children in school. Make an effort to go on field trips. Read to them at night. Tell them that you love them. Hug them. And tell them to go to school and do the right thing every day. And make sure they've completed their homework. And they go to school prepared. Paper and pencil. And that they're learning how to read and learning the vowels. They're going in and learning those consonants. We need you. You are our future. So please help the young people get to where we need to go. Thank you very much and have a great week, what's left of it.